Whether it be through her witty humor, mad rap skills, or sarcastic jokes, this individual never has an issue with putting a huge smile on anyone's face. And her strong faith and compassionate heart never leaves anyone alone, thinking that they are alone. Please join me in welcoming to deliver her retiring address, year 2015-2016 State Reporter Josey Hemperly.
Caring, joyful, unique, and sometimes a little forgetful. These are just a few of the ways that I would describe Josey. But my absolute favorite way to describe Josey is her undeniable faith in God. In everything she does, to everyone she meets, she shows her faith without shame. She is a true light for God, and I'm so incredibly proud to know her and to see the person that she has grown up to be. I love you, Josey.
I want you all to think of a stained glass window. All the colors in a stained glass window make up one beautiful thing. This is what I think of when I think of Josey. All these amazing characteristics made up to make one beautiful person. Although, when telling a joke, it does take her a few minutes to understand it. But that leads to how she's been there for me for every minute of my life. I'm so thankful to know Josey and have had her as a part of my FFA journey. So FFA members, please join me in welcoming your state reporter, Josey Hemperly.
Unusual, outcast, freak, outsider, crazy, you name it, I have heard it. My uniqueness has just been something I was always aware of. It could be the way I dress, my addiction to chocolate, the burst of random conversation topics, or maybe it is dropping mad rhymes whenever I feel like it. It could even be my unhealthy interest in soybeans. If you ask me, you cannot pinpoint everything that is unusual about someone unless you have a clear definition of normal. Is there really such a thing as normal anyway? The more people I meet, the more I am convinced that there is not a set standard as to what is normal and what is not. Throughout this year, I've had the opportunity to meet some pretty unique people. There's a guy named Nubby, all the way from East Ascension, who lost one of his fingers, and instead of hiding his difference, he embraces it with his own cool nickname. And there's Joshua from Sam Houston, who was never afraid to show me his mad dance moves at camp and 212-360. Oh, and I can't forget about Wally from Opelousas. She always has a smile, and her personality just shines. Although there's so much that is different about each person I have met throughout this year, there is one thing we all have in common: trying to be exactly who we are supposed to be. Yet, the truth is, it is not easy just being you in a world where everyone has an opinion of who you should be. Throughout all the time that I've spent in FFA, there's some things that I have learned. That we are all different in our own ways. And that is something that should be embraced. That we're all experience different things. And I believe that God allows us to experience these things. The things that make us beautifully unusual. It could be an accent you picked up from being surrounded by the ones you love. It could be an instrument you learned to play because you had a grandparent who played it also. Or maybe it could even be the color of your hair that runs in your family. There's so many things that make each of us different. And I like to be reminded of these adventures that I've been on, these things that have made us who we are today. So, ever since I could remember, I have carried things in my jacket pockets, things that make me who I am. A gator. The gator is a symbol of where I come from. Not just Louisiana in general, but my hometown. I am a graduate of Lakeview High School, home of the Gators. It represents where I had come from, and in life, it is always essential to remember that. Oh man, okay, anyone want to guess what this is? A soybean. Let me just tell you about this little miracle crop. It is small, but it is dynamite. It has been a huge part of my FFA career throughout the years, and I do not intend to forget it anytime soon. I mean, how could I? I did a speech on it for nearly 3 years. It reminds me that knowledge and hard work will always be important to me. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. This one floods me with memories and hope. It is a picture of my friend Chrissy. You see, Chrissy was most certainly beautifully unusual. Maybe it was her creative drawings, or her amazing sense of humor, or her awesome personality. She would have quickly told you that it stemmed from her faith. See, when Chrissy was 12 months old, she was diagnosed with a terrible lung disease called cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a lung disease that makes your lungs weaker over time and more susceptible to other illnesses. In 2010, Chrissy's lung functions dropped from 70% to 12%. Later, she was told that she would need a double lung transplant. In 2011, at the age of 14, Chrissy underwent the surgery. The recovery did not go so well. She had a flatline. She had a stroke and flatlined, but was revived. In 2013, at the age of 16, Chrissy was told she would not live for more than 3 months. Chrissy actually lived to be 18. I am so glad she did, because I got to share this amazing friendship with her. We even named her oxygen tank, Ramona. Chrissy went home to be with the King on Easter in 2015. Chrissy was different, but she did not let that stop her from pursuing her dreams. Her life had a great purpose. She met the cake boss and even got her GED. She went to dances and just lived this life beautifully. See, this picture reminds me of how she fought for every breath that she took. But she was still able to look people in the eyes and say, "Suck it up, Buttercup." See, being different can either set you back or set you up to show others how you embrace who you are. God did not make two of you. There is only one you. That brings me to my last item. In my right pocket, I only carry one thing. a cross. It reminds me of where my identity is, who I strive to live for, and who I follow. Christ was, is, and will always be the most beautifully unusual. He went against the crowd and followed God at all costs. He loved the outcast and was, in fact, the ultimate outcast. I want to live like Christ. I want to reach out to those in need just like he did. I want to have crazy faith and his radical love. I want to do this because it is exactly what he did for me. Fellow FFA members, I want you to know that there was a time when I did not embrace being unusual. A time where I actually hated myself. I got depressed after an event in my life, and I became a victim of self-harm. I even contemplated suicide. I thought my life did not have a purpose, and I did not know why I was here. One day, someone saw my cuts, and they made me promise to stop. And for some reason, I did. But I was still depressed. I went to a youth evangelism conference in the year of 2011, and I heard this message of hope. I am not worthless. I am valued by the Most High King. But the question I was left with was, did I truly believe? That night, I realized that God has a purpose for me being different. So on November 21st, 2011, I gave my life to Christ. It was not until then that I was able to see that the stories and the adventures we have been on make us beautifully unusual. I was finally able to see that pain is not without purpose, and that the reason you go through some of the things you do is so that you can reach out to those who are going through it too. God has called each of us to be different in our own ways. Like I said, God did not make two of you for a reason. There is only one you. If there's something that I want you to take away from this, is that you are each fearfully and wonderfully made. You are filled with purpose, and you are each called to be beautifully unusual in your own way. Never let anyone tell you any different, not even yourself. Your life has meaning. You are valued more than you know, and you are not alone. I am proud to say that I am beautifully unusual. Know that there is no one else like you, so you should each share your story. Don't ever be afraid to be you. Be weird. Be different. Be you. Be beautifully unusual.
Everybody laughed at you for doing what you're supposed to do.
this past year, the team and I have come to love. Your heart of gold, constant singing even though you're not the best with lyrics, and those off-guard and very unflattering pictures you take of us that will serve as blackmail for years to come. Your passion for Jesus and the FFA shine in all that you do, and your potential is truly infinite. Louisiana FFA, for the final time, your 2015-2016 State Reporter, Josey Hemperly.